Hello, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to have a two-part episodes. The first part of this episode is going to be my thoughts, opinions, and suggestions on the event as a whole. And the second part of this video is going to be a almost 20 bomb from the perspective of Axel on E-District. I got the end game screen says 18, but I got 20. I got 20 in this one. It was really hard. Like I said, the first half of this video is going to be me talking about the event. It's going to be a lot of complaining. If you're not interested in that and you just want to go to the good stuff and the gameplay and learn a little bit more about E-District and how to play it in a wildcard sort of situation, I'm going to put the timestamp right down here on the bottom. You could just go ahead and click to that timestamp and you can get right to the good stuff. Without further ado, let's dive into it. So I want to talk about this event first for a little bit because I didn't actually like it. I played it a lot. I practiced it, I played it, and I just could not enjoy the gameplay loop in this event. And there were several reasons behind that. Let's start out with some things that I liked, and then we'll talk about some things that I didn't like and what I think could be done differently for the next event. I really liked that you could select your wildcard right from your HUD, and that you didn't have to go to a crafter to do that. That was cool. But only giving us two options wasn't great. In normal wildcard, there are, I think, like 6 different wildcards, and they kind of shuffle a little bit, so you don't always get the same package every single game. So it kind of changes a little bit. But in this case, you only got 2 options. And out of the 2 options that you were given, I think they were very boring and uninspired options. The portal was not great. It took time to wind up. It just dealt 75 damage, and the explosion radius, can only do it 5 times. It was not a very good one, which is why everyone was choosing the other option, which was the dash. And the dash is something that we've already seen in Apex. Ashe has that ability as, her active ability. You can dash omnidirectionally. So just giving everyone Ashe's dash just basically on crack was super weird to me. I think that was a very interesting design choice. By interesting, I mean boring as hell. And one of the reasons why this was so boring is because everyone chose it. It was just the better option, which led to less variety. And when there's less variety, you tend to do the same things over and over again, and the gameplay loop is just boring. So beyond the wildcards, I don't like E-District as a map. I can appreciate how much time and effort the team put into building this map. It is very large. It is very detailed. But with the dash implemented, the map simultaneously feels too big and too small. So what do I mean by that? Everyone was dropping at the Arasaka Citadel, which in Wildcard is perfectly fine. That doesn't bother me at all. It's just like everyone dropping in Quarantine Zone on Broken Moon. No big deal. But the Citadel is very tightly packed together in the center, and the dash made that area feel really, really small. So you have like a football field size of an area that felt like a hockey rink because everyone's just bouncing all over the place and sliding all over the place. It was just kind of a mess. I didn't really like that. Speaking of sliding all over the place and lack of variety, the majority of players that I saw were playing Axel and Octane, and that's just because their active abilities very naturally comboed with the dash. So it was just, again, I was a little out of order there, but that's the point. Lack of variety, everyone's kind of doing the same thing. Next, I do want to talk about the melee punch. The melee punch was very, very unintuitive, aggravating, and sometimes downright infuriating to play against. And this is why. They built this mechanic so if the attack goes off while you're in range, no matter where you are, the attack will finish, which led to these really weird moments where my brain would be like, okay, you got away. You escaped. You pressed backwards, you pressed your shift button, and you dashed away. But that wouldn't happen. The melee punch would magnetize to me and still kill me, dealing 100 damage. I hated the way they did that mechanic, and it could have been something a little bit more interesting. If they're going to make it so powerful, it probably shouldn't be a magnet the way that it was. If it wasn't a magnet, then make it powerful, but they did both, and that made it really infuriating to play against. Didn't like that. Also, whenever sometimes when I spawned in, my hitbox or the bubble that is around my character when I'm in the sky would clip or interact with some of the very high geography in the map, and I would automatically be in like the slow free fall animation, which was really annoying and aggravating. I'm like, come on, let's go, stop it, like, what are you doing? So there was some clunkiness there, which was completely avoidable, but they never really fixed it. Also, in general, in Wildcard, sometimes you spawn and you're looking up at the sky. I don't know why they haven't fixed that yet, but it's still there. Kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there. Let me talk a little bit about E-District. I was saying that I liked what the team put together. Aesthetically, it looks really good. But every major POI has so many different levels and balconies and doors and windows that it is almost impossible to figure out where you're being shot from, which is very aggravating in itself. I don't like that at all. It's just so confusing. Like, every area is very confusing to me. So that's one of the reasons I don't like E-District. It's simply too big and the POIs are too complicated. What I would like to see them do for future events is try to give more variety and try to make the wildcards that are available to the players something that is more about complementing someone's gameplay rather than breaking the gameplay altogether. So, like, you could do things like increased movement speed, smaller things like that on a smaller scale, instead of giving everyone a 100 damage melee that hits from a football field away. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a balance that you can strike there where you don't have to completely break the game. Also, yeah, I do understand that, Wildcard is a non-competitive mode. It's very arcadey in its nature, and this is supposed to be like the experiment ground where they can do these sorts of game-breaking things. But I would say that just because this is a non-competitive arcadey game mode doesn't necessarily mean that all of the gameplay loops that are put into this mode are fun. It still has to be fun at the end of the day. If anything, it's supposed to be more fun in a very like goofy, silly kind of way. Whereas in this case, in this event, it really wasn't. It wasn't a lot of fun. It was just very aggravating, and it was very repetitive, and I'm actually really looking forward to this being over. That's going to do it for the first half of this video. I'm going to go ahead and move into this 20 bomb. Basically, it's a 20 bomb that I got on Axel, and we'll talk through it. All right, so let's talk through this game. Let's start out by taking a look at the center of the map, the Arasaka Citadel. As you can see, it's a big ring, but we're going to start out by kind of explaining the geography of the map and explain where players tend to cluster. So the center of the map is the actual Citadel, which is here. This is where most of the players tend to cluster and where they tend to go. There's a lot of fighting that happens in here. There's an indoor area, and there are some places as well where you can drop that are kind of safe. Let me see if I can press play here and we can try to show you that. Okay, sort of. So right here, there are these little cubby holes. I don't know how to describe them. It's here and it's here. There's also another one that's right here. And there's some on this side as well. I believe there's two on this side. And over here, there's no cubby hole here. It's just like a really long pathway that goes in this way. But these little cubby holes, for some reason, people don't really drop at them, which I think we're going to see in this match. Maybe I'm wrong, but like this tends to be the safer place to go when you're dropping here on this area. Some of the more dangerous places to go are like in here and also going underneath, and in here, that's where you're probably going to be fighting for loot. But for some reason, every time I jumped down into one of these cubby holes, I was fine. Next, I want to talk about like the areas outside of the Arasaka Citadel, which is kind of going to be in this area here, not in the middle. So I'm going to like make a target here, right? Like the middle area is very high population. This area here is kind of middle population, but there are still some hot spots where people tend to go. There's this building right here. Everyone loves this building. I hate this building. The reason everyone loves this building is because it's got the zip line, and you can go up and you can go down and you can do all sorts of fun, crazy stuff, and there's stairs and blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing on, I can't remember the name of the map right now, but everyone jumps to this building. It's called like the streamer building, where everyone goes there and plays games with the zip line. And what makes this building even worse is because of how the melee animation works. It makes, if you just like use all of your psychometer up and you just deliberately transform, you actually get a really big advantage by going into this structure here, because you have like a melee attack that basically takes up half the friggin' floor, and a lot of people do that. They just transform, go in here, and just start punching people to get kills. I guess that's fun. That's what people want to do. That's what they're going to do. But just know that I consider this like the anti-skill building. People just go here to play silly little stupid games. They're not actually trying to express skill. They're just trying to punch you from halfway across the floor because, yay, it's Wildcard, and why not? Let's have a good time. If you're going to go to that building, just be aware you're going to see some of that stuff there. There are a few other buildings as well in the outer zone. There's this area here, which does have some structures in it, and people will tend to cluster around these structures and fight. And there's also some on the other side, which I think we might see a little bit later. But that's pretty much the structures. Now, what I want to talk about next are kind of like the outdoor or the outer ring areas, which is like this area down here and this area like over here. And then the other side also has like an outer ring area. This is where players tend not to go in the beginning of the match because it's too far away from the action. So this is where you want to drop if, for say, you go to the Citadel and you don't get a gun, or you get like what I tend to get every friggin' game I play, which is like a charged rifle and a 30-30. If you get like a really crappy starting loadout, drop into one of these areas and you should be able to find some loot there, because there isn't loot scattered around the area like normally. Like normally it's not really hard to find loot, but I had the first few times I was on this map, I had a really hard time finding guns. I'm like, where are the guns at? Like there's basically like a gun here and that's it. There's no guns over here. There's like one, there's a couple of supply bins here, but this is pretty much occupied when the game first starts out. But if you drop in these outer areas, there are places where you can get loot. Sometimes this building here can be occupied. Other times it's not. So you just kind of have to feel it out for how your game is going. There is this area right up here by the big turbine that has some supply bins where you can check for guns if you didn't get one. There's also this area over here, which is one of the exits, which also has some supply bins as well as this area right down here. Like when you rotate out of Arasaka, there are these places that have supply bins and loot in them. Same thing over here in this area. Like this is where you would rotate out when we're done and the circle starts closing, and there's loot there for you. So probably not going to find too much loot elsewhere if you don't get them in the main areas. This building right here does have some supply bins in it as well, but since it's so close to the building that everyone likes to go to, might have a hard time finding things there. This is the parking garage. Probably not going to find too much loot there. If I'm not mistaken, you really won't get too much. So go to the areas where, like the egresses, I guess. The egresses to the Arasaka Citadel is where you're going to find loot. Let's go ahead and move forward and see how we're doing here. So as you can see here, I drop into one of these cubby holes that I was mentioning. There's 2 supply bins. No one's here. Great. There's my sentinel. Exactly what I want. I don't like the hemlock. No gun there. So again, first objective right now, what my brain is thinking is get good guns. Just find something that you can shoot. That's all I care about. I don't care about frags. I don't care about rotations. I don't care about where my team is. Just get good guns. Checking the pads here. So we have Peacekeeper. And we have a Hemlock. This is workable, but not what I prefer. There's a longbow there. See, I have really bad luck with the really bad luck with finding sniper rifles in the beginning of the game. Anyway, let's back it up for just a second. As you can see here, we're about 12:25 into the game or so. My cyberware is available, and as is tradition and what most other players choose, I went ahead and chose the dash, which is what I tend to choose in every single match, just because I think it's much better than the breach. So now we're continuing down the path of finding a good gun. All right, still haven't found anything. A Havoc. I don't want a Havoc. The reason I don't like the Havoc in the beginning of the game is because of the wind-up. You will die while the gun is winding up. It's just that simple, so it's not good in this mode. R301, I can work with that. Great aim. Okay, I'm in a little trouble. I'm going to try to find some safe space here. And so I heard him with my headphones, and I heard him jump in, and he pushed me right there. I heard that little sound effect, which means I canceled my shield cell, and my brain now says survive. And since it's a close range fight, I take out my shotgun. I don't try to hip fire my 301. So as you can see, the first thing I did there is I backed off because he has a melee attack. I know I need to keep distance between me and him. This is why the Peacekeeper isn't great, because the Peacekeeper works really well up close, but that's where the psychos want you. They want you up close because that's where they can deal their damage. So we kind of have elevators going in opposite directions here, kind of a really strange synergy where I need to be further away with a shotgun. It doesn't really make sense, but that's why I'm still working on my my setup. Okay, we're getting teamed up on. We get the kill, reload, and I have to defend myself from the next player. I can't finish my kill because he dashes on me. Got him. He stood, but I got him again, so I get my kill. Finishing kills is also one of the top things that I mentioned in one of my other videos, and finishing kills in this game mode is actually really, really hard because while players are down, other players will be on top of you like shit on Velcro. Man, they are just always on top of you because everyone chooses the dash. And since people use the dash, it makes the map much smaller. So confirming kills in this game mode is really, really hard, which is kind of frustrating if you're going after a 20 bomb. I've gotten several games where I've had like 24 and 25 knocks, but I've only had 16 or 17 kills because it's people just get up like all the time. Also, another thing that I didn't mention in my last video about the event is that when you're in psycho mode, you get fortify when you're down, which means that you have a better chance of standing up after you get knocked. All right, so we got the kill. We're going to take a moment and we're going to try to heal. Okay, we got our batteries off, and now we are looking for our next kill and also looking for better guns. We're going to ult that guy, and we're going to chase him down. And now we're going to slide. And we're going to... I messed up. I'm going to continue the chase. I have one... By the way, I have one dash left. If you look down here in the lower left-hand corner, which I'll circle in red, this shows what your cyber psycho meter is, which means I've already dashed 14 times. This right here is the 15th dash, and when I do that, I'm going to transform. Okay, got the kill. Go for the finish. It's a blue box. We're going to check it. There's nothing there. And I dash to get out of there, and I transform. Not intentionally, I don't think. I don't like to transform this early in the game. So now we're going to look for a kill with our punches, because punching is fun. Oh, there's a player there. I can't really approach him. So I'm going to try a different method. I'm going to go to this building that I mentioned in the beginning, where players like to go when they like to punch things. See how far away I was? Did you see how far away I was there for this punch? Look at this. Look at this nonsense. This is stupid. I am here. This is a melee attack. I am here. And it attaches to him. Now, here's the thing, is that since I clicked fire right here, and I am within this melee range, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is not melee range, in my opinion. Like, Respawn, why would you do this? If he dashes away after I click, I will attach to him and transport with him and still deal the damage, and I don't have to aim it. It aims it by itself. It's dumb, man. I couldn't stand it. Let's move on. So there you go. I attach to him. I karate chop him. Get my kills. I now have, as you can see here in the bottom left-hand corner, I have 6 of the immunoblocker syringes. It only takes 3 to transform yourself back to normal and to get a gun. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. Or we're just going to keep on playing with fists. I don't know. Can't remember. Nope, we're going to transform. Hide for a second. Use the 3 immunoblockers. Get our guns back. And by the way, when you do that and you transform back to normal, you are fully back to full everything. Full health, full shield. All of your guns are fully reloaded. You are ready to go. So you don't have to do anything. You could just start playing again. Okay, just pushing. Trying to see what I can see. As you can see, I didn't really go into that building because I just don't like it. Here's also some supply bins here. I didn't mention this in the initial walkthrough, but these 3 supply bins can be helpful, but since it's so close to this building, people tend to drop here. The cubby holes are right there. These are the cubby holes that I was mentioning from the drop through. There's one here. There's the other one that's right in this area here. And there's a supply bin here. There's a supply bin here. And then on the other side of the wall, there's another 2. And then over here, there's another 2. So this area outside of this building in this section is really, really good to start out in. Just FYI. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we got some new guns. I like the R99 in this game mode, and I also do like the RE45, so we're going to pick this one instead, but I'm going to keep the Peacekeeper. I think I should have changed that, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. Going into the Building of Death, leaving the Building of Death. There's a fight. Oh, he's just going to run away and play games. And also the other reason I don't like the building, people play Conduit, and they play, I can't remember his freaking name right now. They play the Defender heroes, and they go in there, and they put fences up, and they put toxic barrels up, and it's just a nightmare. So, another strategy here that I had mentioned in a previous game is rotating in with the circle to get kills. As you can see here, the circle is going to push people out of the building, and I am below the building hiding behind this thing, so people are going to start coming in front of me. You can see one there. Here's another player here, and that's how you can pick up a couple of kills. So again, he tapped out. I don't have to finish it, and we're going to keep rotating in with the circle, not afraid of the damage that it's going to cause. So hip firing there to get him, finishing our kill, and now try to get to some safety. Again, not really too afraid of the damage because I know that I can stop the damage there by picking up the orbs and gain a quick tick of health. And I can also fly, which I should be doing here soon. I'm getting a little low on health. And boom, we're going to start dashing like crazy to try to get into the zone. I don't... be careful taking zip lines. They snitch, man. They tell you. Oh, I died. But that's okay. We have a revive kit. We can keep on going here. Made it. Okay, we made it. Okay. So after I get out of the storm, and now we're getting ready to head into the mid game. So early game is done. I only have 5 kills. Not really that great. I like to have at least 10 to 12 at this point in the match, but I kind of went off in the mid game, and I don't usually do that, which is why I captured this game, why I wanted to go over it. In this game mode, having 10 to 12 kills when there's 7 or 8 squads left is usually good. In Wildcard, that's where you want to be. That's your barometer for whether or not you're going to get a 20 bomb. In this event, that's like not good enough because sometimes in the middle to late game, the kills just dry up. I don't know why. They just do. We're going to go through it, but just so you know, You kind of want to have like at least a dozen kills before you leave the Citadel and move into the mid game. I think that's a good place for you to be. So now my brain is thinking, fine, let's frag out, man. Let's find some kills. Where are these people at? Whee, let's go. Well, this is not working out very well. That was bad. Again, immediately tapping out. That's the first time we've had to do this. We're in the mid game, but again, tap out right away. I see players doing this all the time, whether they're my teammates or whether they're my enemies. They just die and then they don't tap out. Start your respawn timer. If there is no chance of you getting picked up, if you're not in the late game and it's a 45-second respawn or the respawns are off, tap the out, man. I don't understand why people delay. Start your respawn timer. People will wait like 10 to 12 seconds and then tap out. The timer is 20 seconds. It could have been half over. Okay, we're back. It's our first respawn. Where are we going? Looking around, looking for some fighting. Just something I want to call out here real quick. A really bad habit that I have, that other players might have, that you should try to break, is going back for revenge kills. Someone kills you, and then you go right back to the place where you died, and you try to get revenge. I do it right here, and it's not a good habit. I understand that people are like, I'm back, I'm going to get my revenge, I'm going to get even, and I'm going to go and get you because you got me, and it's going to feel really good, and I'm going to get my dopamine, and try not to do that. In my opinion, it is a bad habit. This is something that I can do better on. Like, if I go back and analyze my own gameplay, I can say, like, don't do that. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because the players that are there are already set up. They picked up your orbs. Their health and their shield is back to normal, and their teammates might be with them too. You're just going to get into this endless cycle where you're like, I want to go back and get revenge. Oh, he got me again. I'm going to go back and get revenge. Oh, he got me again. And it's just not good. So save yourself some trouble. Don't try to get revenge. Instead, what is better to do here is to look around and see where people are fighting and then drop around those fights so you can start your next rotation. Try not to get so zeroed in on the one person that killed you, and instead try to look at the bigger picture and go where those fights are. Try to go back to where I died. There's a fight here. Not bad. Got him. All right, that was a cool little acrobatic move. Finish our kill, pick up the orbs, move on. Okay, we're going to get out of dodge there because there was a little bit of... There's too much going on. Now that we have our shields topped off, we're going to start looking for our next fight. Only 5 squads left. This is the video I wanted to capture? Yep. Okay, I'm very surprised here. I was able to get to 20 from at this point. Still 12 more kills coming. Nice little double kill there. Again, just looking for a fight. Chasing him down. Finishing the kill. Pick up the orbs. Get out of there. That's the other thing you need to do in this game mode, is get clear, man. You have to get clear. Okay, what are we doing right now? We are looking for players to fight. I can hear him in this building, but I'm always very wary of going inside buildings just because players can transform on you very, very fast and just kill you. Good kill there. Finish him. There you go. Pick up the orbs, move on, reload your guns, top off your health, top off your resource, and then look for your next kill. Good kill there. I saw him tap out right away, which was good, so I know I don't need to go finish him. And now we're looking for our next kill. Again, same thing as before. Following the circle in. I'm going to say this again. The round is ending. Round 2 is closing. Look where I am positioned on the map. Look where I am. I am here, and I'm following the circle in. Follow it in like this. Follow it in, because you're all going to be going this way, and if you're like, everyone's going to be here, right? All your bad guys are going to be here, and if you're here where I am, look where I am. I'm right here. I'm going to be pushing in behind you. I'm going to shoot you in your ass, dude. That's what you want to do. So push, following in with the storm, not being afraid of the damage, getting another kill. Now, I'm trying to get kills here, which is why I moved forward. If he's stuck back there, he's just going to get knocked by the storm, even if he stands back up. So I'm not terribly worried about him. I'm taking a look. There he is. Oh, there's a couple of more. So he's going to get knocked by the storm. This was cute. I remember this. I was like, wait, was there another player there? He, like, hid in this little freaking nook. I'm like, is this out? I was like, yeah, that's in the circle. Moving on. All right, we're at 13. There's 3 squads left. I need to get 7 kills. Excuse me. I end up getting 5. Technically, I get 5, but I actually got the 7. You'll see. Oh, God, I'm getting shot. Run away. Okay, looking for a fight. All I'm doing is looking for a fight. That's it. Listening for gunshots. Heard them. Started to move. Okay, gonna try to... My friend is down. Want to pick him up. Oh, this is pretty sweet. 2 kills right there. Finish my kills. Pick up the orbs. Kill leader. Got 5 kills to go. With 3 squads left, that's very doable. This is a good spot to be in. My damage is a little low. I'm sitting at about 2.4k right now. It's not great. Usually I want to be a little bit higher in damage, but we had some good picks in there. Okay, so this is where my brain is like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Where'd everybody go?
Where are they?
So, real quick, this is kind of what I'm talking about when it comes to every POI in E-District. There's so many buildings here. There's this building here. There's this building here. There's a zip line that goes this way. There's this building to my right. All of these buildings have multiple floors. It's just a confusing mess. I don't like it. It's not straight, that building too. I just don't like it. It's not my style. It looks cool. It looks great. I don't like the way it plays. A note on the bins. Notice the bins that are here. They are in the circle. I am not opening them. They are purple bins. I can see that by the color. But the reason I don't open the bins is because if my team dies, I can go and open them to bring them back faster. That's minus 6 seconds. Minus 6, 3 for this one, 3 seconds off their respawn timers for both of these bins. If it's a 20-second respawn, you bring them back really, really fast. That 45-second respawn timer is a bitch too. These bins can help. So don't open bins unless you need to. Save them. See? Heard the ping. Going for frags. Messed you up. Gonna chase this guy down because I need that kill. That was a good shot. Well, not bad. Oh, come on. Give it to me. And here they go. We're on the wild goose chase. My gun reloaded because it's a gold gun. Got the kill. Pick up the orbs. Check the death box because it's red. Oh, I like that gun. We're picking that up instead of using the Peacekeeper. So we got 4 kills left. 3 squads. Very doable, again. Getting back into the action now because this is where my team is and because this is where the other players are. Looking for a fight. Hearing the ping, seeing the player. I see that he's transformed, so I need to approach this pretty carefully. Got my notification that the psycho meter was getting there. Decided to use a few blockers to push that back down so I can keep dodging. There he is. Got another kill there. That was good. 17. This should have been 18 here. I kind of messed up my aim, and my teammate got the kill, but that's okay. That's going to happen. So 3 squads left, 17 kills. Looking for a frag, trying to find the best angle for it right now. These structures give me heartburn, man. I hate these structures. See how he's transformed and he's in the building? Get out of there! Ah, it's so annoying. See, I don't want to go up. I'm scared to go up. Oh, I don't like this. There he comes. Shit. No. Yeah, that's why. That's stupid. I don't like that. 45-second respawn timer. That's why I don't like going into the buildings. It's just, it's an anti-skill building. All the buildings are. Okay. My teammate got a kill, picked up some orbs, brought me back, and I don't go anywhere near that building. Screw the building. Looking for players on the outside of the building. They're also going to be rotating in, but now I cannot rotate in with the circle because the circle does too much damage. So I have to gatekeep. And I know the circle's going to push people out of the building, so I'm just waiting for them. Where y'all at? There you are. Execution. Very good. There's 18. Okay, my gun is not overheated. My bad. Top off. All deaths are now final, so we're going to play a little bit differently. Or are we? No, we're going balls to the wall. We don't care. We're still going into these buildings. Okay. This is where the fights are. This is where I gotta go. I don't like it, but this is what we gotta do. See? Can't even take those things because Conduit is there. Gonna try to find him. Nope, just running away, and I can't use the zip lines. See, it's so small. Can't use the doors. Can't use the zip lines. It's just so stupid, man. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I won't complain. So my objective is to get 2 kills with 3 squads. That's very, 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 very doable. Final circle is now happening. So in the final circle, you want to try to position yourself, in my opinion, and this is probably going to be dependent on a few different factors, but generally, the less you have to move, the better. Like, if you are closer to the center of the circle, you can see where other players are coming in and crunching in around you, and then you can shoot them. They might be fighting each other as they're rotating in, so this is the time when I like to be in the middle of the circle. See, he turned into I hit him, and then he turned into he used his portal, which didn't deal anything, so I couldn't do anything. One of my teammates is eliminated. I now have no shields because he used his portal. So this guy right here, I get knock. That's 19. And now my objective is just get a kill. I don't even care if I win, because that's 19. And this guy is 20. That's 20 right there. My aim was fine. My aim was fine. I did it, okay? I did it. But I got KS'd right there at the very end. Just Alex took my 20th kill away from me. That was number 20. That was good enough for me. That is where this is pretty much the end of the video and where everything is going to stop. The end game circles are generally a nightmare. You got to get a little bit lucky here. In this game mode, yes, you can transform and you can punch people because you're all in a very tight area. You can do that too. But that's pretty much how I play E-District. You start out in the middle, you try to find some safe places to get some guns, and you rotate in with the circle, pick up your orbs, finish your kills, have good practice. Put those good practices that I taught in the earlier episodes into effect, and you should be good. It's okay. A little bit harder in this game mode just because a lot of people stand back up. Like I said, I've gotten games where I've had 23, 24 knocks, but I don't hit the 20 kill mark. That's just because so many people are able to stand back up. So let's just watch the end of the game. It ends right here anyway. Trying to stay inside. Get killed here. Game is over. Place 3. That's it. So, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. I hope you found the video educational and useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. You know me, I don't like to ask for subscribers at the start of a video. I like to provide the video first, and then if you found it useful, you can hit the subscribe button, get notified whenever I upload another one. So if you made it this far and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that button. Really helps me out. 21 knocks, 3.4k damage, 19 kills. Overall, a pretty good game. It was 20 kills. It was 20, man. I'm telling you, it was 20. It was literally a bullet away, and my aim was fine. My other teammate KS'd me, but it's fine. Whatever. It was a good game. Hope you found the video helpful and useful. We will see you in the next one. Bye!